Muling pagbabalik dito sa ating channel. Presentation natin ngayon on the probability notations under normal curve. Meron tayong mga cases when required areas are above, between, and below, wherein mabigyan natin ang areas ng bawat models under the normal curve gamit ang probability notations. Ito yung mga sample models natin depicted by the shaded regions under the curve. We have here a list of objectives. So, find areas between paired z-scores. So, ito yung ating table of areas under the normal curve, and it is also known as the z-table. Number 2, find the probabilities for the standard normal random variable z. It is constructed of 4 decimal place number that gives a probability of the normal curve. Okay, number 3, express areas under the normal curve using the probability notations. Okay, review mo natin yung graphical representation ng standard normal curve. It has a mean or average of 0 and standard deviation of 1, and it is symmetrical about its center. So, ibig sabihin nito, hinati sa magkaparehong sukat, both sides are equal. We have the horizontal base. On the right side, it contains a positive number from 0 to 3, and the left side sa kabila naman from negative 3 to 0. And this horizontal base is also known as the z-scores. So half of the normal curve is 0.5 and the other half is 0.5, and then the total area is equal to 1 or 100%. Okay, ito yung ating probability notation. So, we have a case 1. So, this is the symbol, the notation. So, babasahin natin ito. Denotes the probability that the z-score is greater than A, where A is the z-score value. Meron tayong required area for the shaded region. Ito yung ginagamit nating term na greater than z, at least z to the right of z, more than z, above z. Isa lang ang ibig sabihin nito, our shaded region is going to the right. Okay, for example, greater than z is equal to negative 1.5. So, to locate the negative 1.5, alam natin na between negative 1 and negative 2. Okay, ito yung location niya. Then, negative 1.5. So, since this is greater than z, so mula sa negative 1.5 throughout to the right side, yan ang kanyang shaded region. Okay, for the above z is equal to 1. So, locate the value of z-score 1. Yan. Since this is the term we use is above. So, mula 1 to the right of the tail. So, ito yung probability z is greater than A. So, ito yung example natin for case 1. Find the area to the right of z is equal to negative 2. So, to write in a probability notation, z is greater than negative 2. So, yan nating specified value for z. So, step 1, draw a normal curve. Then, locate the z value. Okay, since the value of z is negative, so it's at the left side. So, draw a line through the z value. Yan ang ating z value. Then shade the required region. So, to the right of z is equal to negative 2. So, from negative 2 to the right. Okay, yan ating shaded region. Okay, number 5, consult the z table and find the area that corresponds to z is equal to negative 2. Kung ang ating z is negative, we simply ignore the negative sign and gamitin natin yung z is equal to positive. So, write in the 3-digit form. So, yung first 2 digit natin, yan ang ating row entry sa z table. So, yan, 2.0. And for our column entry, yung last digit natin sa 3-digit form, yan, 00. For our then get the intersection of row and column. So, yan ang ating z is equal to negative 2 corresponds to 0.4772. Yan ang ating area from 0 to negative 2. Then, half of this normal curve is 0.5. So, to find the probability, z is greater than negative 2, and the area of z is equal to negative 2 is 0.772 plus 0.5, the half of the normal curve. Don't get the sum. That is required area to the right of z, or z is negative 2, is equal to 0.9772. Another example for case 1, to find the area above z is equal to 1.46. So the probability notation z is greater than 1.46. Okay, for number 1, draw a normal curve. Then 2, locate the z value. So we have the specified value of z is 1.46, is at the right side. Then draw a line through the z value. Then you need to shade the required region. Okay, ito yung ang region natin sa above 1.46. Then number 5, consult the z table and find the area that corresponds to z is equal to 1.46. To find the area, dapat between sa z is equal to 0 and z is equal to 1.46. So, ang first 2 digit natin, yung ating row entry sa ating z table, that is 1.4. And for our column entry, yung last digit natin is 0.06. Diyan natin makita yung column entry, 0.06, and find the intersection of row and column. Yan ang ating probability that z is equal to 1.46 corresponds to 0.4279. So mula 0 to 1.46 is equivalently to 0.4279. And we are interested for this shaded region, the area here. Then to find the area, since the half of the normal curve is 0.5, so the probability z is greater than 1.46 is equal to half of the normal curve is 0.5. Then the operation to be used is subtractions para makuha natin yung shaded region. So ibawas natin yung sa unshaded region from 0 to 1.46, that is 0.4279. Then 0.0721, yan ang sobra ng ating subtraction. Then the required above z, which is 1.46, is 0.0721. Sa ating case 2, so ito yung probability notation. It denotes the probability that z-score is less than a, where a is the z-score value. So ito yung mga terms na gamitin natin for shaded region. Less than z, at most z, no more than z, not greater than z, to the left of z. So isa lang din ang ibig sabihin nito. Our shaded region is going to the left side. So for example, if we have the specified value of negative 1, so the shaded region is going to the left side. Another example, if we have the z-score specified value of 1, okay, since this less than a, so from a, mula sa a, then pababa yung ating shaded region. So ito yung ating probability notation where z is less than a. For case 2, example number 3, so find the area to the left of z is equal to negative 1.5. Then the probability notation is z less than negative 1.5. Yan ang ating specified value of z-score, negative 1.5. Yung unang step natin, normal curve, then locate the z value. Okay, nasa left side, since this negative, draw a line to the z value. Then shade the required region. So since we are using the left of z, yung pababa nating shade area, then consult the z table and find the area that corresponds to z is equal to negative 1.5. Okay, since this negative, so ignore natin yung negative, then we are using the z is equal to 1.5 sa ating z table. So ang first 2 digit, yan ang ating row entry, 1.5, yan. And for the column entry, yung last digit natin, that is 00. then intersect the between row and column, and we get the area corresponds to 0.4332. So mula 0 to negative 1.5, yan ang ating area, 0.4332 for the unshaded region, but we are looking for this shaded region to find the area. Then the probability z is less than negative 1.5, then half of the normal curve, 0.5, then subtract natin sa ating unshaded region yung area ng z is equal to negative 1.5, that is 0.4332, then subtract, then we get 0.0668. Yan ang ating area ng shaded region. That is a required area to the left of z, which is negative 1.5, yung pababa, so the area is 0.0668. Example number 4, then find the area below z is equal to 1.5. The probability notation, z is less than 1.5. So we have here the normal curve, then locate the z value. Since this positive is at the right side, then draw a line through the z value. Since we are using the term below, then our shaded region from 1.5 pababa. So we are interested for this shaded region to find the area. Okay, so we have two parts here, 0.1.5 to half of the normal curve. So to find the area of z is equal to 1.5, the first two digit is our row entry, the 1.5. Then our column entry is our last digit, is 0. Yeah, then get the intersections between the row and column. Then z is equal to 1.50 corresponds to 0.4332. Yan ang ating shaded region mula 0 to 1.5. Since half of the normal curve 0.5, that is also a shaded region, then p probability z less than 1.5 is equal to half of the normal curve, which is 0.5, plus z is 1.5 is equivalently to 0.432. Then get the sum, that is the required area to the left of z. Yan ating shaded region. Sa ating case 3, so ito yung probability notation. It denotes the probability that z-score is between A and B, where A and B are z-score values. Ito yung mga models natin for the required area between z1 and z sub 2. So we have here the z values. Specified natin yung z value natin dito between negative 2 and negative 1. Yan ating shaded region. Yan ang sample models for this case. Then another example for this model between specified value of z 1 and 2. So we're going to locate the shaded region using this probability notation, A less than z less than b. Meron tayong illustrative example for this case, number 3. So, example number 5, find the area between z is equal to negative 2 and z is equal to negative 1.5. Ito yung probability notation natin for this example. So, step 1 natin, draw a normal curve. Yan ating normal curve, then locate the z value. So, since we have the specified value of z, negative 1.5 and negative 2, then draw a line through the z value. Then, we're going to shade the area between negative 2 and negative 1.5. Then we're going to consult the z table to find the area that corresponds to z is equal to negative 2 and z is equal to negative 1.5. Since our z is negative, so ignore lang natin yung negative and gamitin natin yung positive 2. Yung sukat natin mula 0 to negative 2. Then to find the area, the first two digit natin, that is a row entry, 2.0. Then, for our column entry, yung last digit natin is 00. Then, get the intersections between row and column. Yan ang ating area of 2 corresponds to 0.4772. Okay, mula 0 to negative 2, yung sukat 0.772. Then, we're going to find the area mula 0 to negative 1.5. Yan ating sukatin through our Z table. So, again, Z natin negative, so ignore yung negative, then find the area of Z is equal to 1.5. Yan natin first to 1.5. Yan row entry, then the last column is 0. Yan, get the intersections between the row and column. So, we have the Z is equal to 1.5 corresponds to 0.4332. Yan ating sukat mula 0 to negative 1.5. So, ngayon, paano natin kunin yung shaded region between negative 2 and negative 1.5? So, since the area of Z is equal to negative 2 is 0.772, then we're going to subtract yung unshaded region yung from Z is equal to negative 1.5 corresponds to 0.4332. Subtract natin yan para makuha natin yung shaded region. So that is 0.0440. Yan ang sukat nating shaded region. So that is the required area between Z is equal to negative 2 and Z is equal to 1.5 is 0.0440. For example number 6, find the area between Z is equal to 0.98 and Z is equal to 2.58. So we have here the probability notation. 0.98 is less than Z and Z is less than 2.58. So first step natin, draw a normal chord, then locate our Z value. So we have meron tayong specify the value of Z, which are the 0.98 and 2.58. So, i-shade natin yan between the Z values. So, yan ang ating shaded region. Then, we're going to find the area that corresponds to Z is equal to 0.98. So, from 0 to 0.98. And we have another Z, 2.58 from 0 to 2.58. Alamin natin yung area ng Z value 0.98. So our row entry is 0.9, yung first 2 digit natin, that is 0.9, and the column entry, the last digit is 0.08. Yan, makita natin sa taas. Yan, that is the column entry, and get the intersections between row and column. So that is the Z value. So 0.98 corresponds to 0.3365. Yan ang ating value from 0 to 0.98. And another Z value, yan ang ating Z is equal to 2.58. Yung first 2 digit natin, that is a row entry, 2.5. O dyan na row entry, and the column entry, which is our last digit. Yan ang ating last digit. Then column entry, then intersections. So that is the Z is equal to 2.58 corresponds to 0.4951. Okay, yan ang area natin. So from 0 to 2.58. So that is 0.4951. So, hanapin natin yung shaded region between 0.98 and 2.58. So, from 0 to 2.58, yung area is equivalently to 0.4951. So, to find our shaded region, so, bawasan natin sa ating Z is equal to 0.98. So, that is 0.3365. So, subtract. So, that is 0.1586. Yan ang ating area of our shaded region. So, the required area between Z is equal to 0.98 and Z is equal to 2.58 is 0.1586. For example, number 7. So find the area between z is equal to negative 1.32 and z is equal to 0.37. Okay, ito yung ating probability notation. So, ang unang step natin, draw a normal chord, then locate the z value. So, meron tayong specified value of z, negative 1.32 is at the left side and 2.37 at the right side. Then, draw a line through the z value. So, yan ang ating line for the z value. Then, shade the required area since between the z1 and z2, so yan ang ating shaded region. Then consult the z table to find the area corresponds to z is equal to negative 1.32, so yan, and z is equal to 2.37. Gamitin natin yung positive value of z instead sa negative 1.32. So the first two digit, yan ang ating row entry, that is 1.3, and the last, or the column entry, the last digit is 0.02. Then get the intersections between row and column. Okay, yan, and then the z is equal to 1.32 corresponds to 0.4066. From 0 to negative 1.32 is equivalent to 0.4066. Then another z value, that is 2.37. Then the first two digit row entry, that is 2.3. And then the last digit, that is column entry, that is 0.07. Again, ang intersection ng dalawa is yan, or z is equal to 2.37 corresponds to 0.4911. Okay, yan ang sukat from 0 to 2.37. So, to find the area of the shaded region, so gamitin natin yung probability notation sa between negative 1.32 and 2.37. Ang unang shaded region natin for the z is equal to negative 1.32, that is 0.4066. Ang i-add natin yung katabing ng area, that is equivalent to 0.4911. So the sum is 0.8977. Yan ang ating total area between z is equal to negative 1.32 and z is equal to 2.37. Try to answer our learning activity here to determine each of the following areas and show this graphically. Use probability notation in your final answer. So this ends up of our presentations about the probability notations.